way too much for me. Way too much for me to handle. Does anybody remember Fruit of the Loom? I'm just probably going to be repeating this for the next 25 minutes. Yeah, I did the whole Mandela thing, Mandela effect, and explained my views on it many times in the past. And I kind of stepped away from it. Because I thought a lot of it, while I believe in the premise of it, I don't know that all of the examples that people use of the Mandela effect have any reality. I think most of it is false memories and some psychological things. Um, I don't think it's shifting dimensions. I do think that can happen, and this is one, and I think there's a few that would give examples of that shifting realities. However, most of them, I would say, I think it's just false, misrepresented memories of things. But the fruit of the loom, do you remember it? Do you remember the fruit of the loom? The image. Like what, you get on your t-shirt, whatever. You get your, as I'm sitting here scratching my back. I got a back scratcher around here. I think I've been doing too many steroids. Do you remember it? On the tag on the t-shirt. Or your underwear, whatever. What was on it? What was on it? Do you remember there being a cornucopia there? Because I sure do. And this seems to be a pretty big one for a lot of people. I sure do. Because that's the only reason I know what the word cornucopia is. I clearly recall it. It's like Shazam is another one I clearly recall, but there's not much I can do to verify. Like there's kind of like Shazam, yeah, I'm positive it was. Because, it's kind of when I was getting into comedy, and I knew Sinbad was in it. Now it doesn't exist. I can say perhaps that's some, I don't know, but this Fruit of the Loom thing. Apparently, no cornucopia basket exists or has ever on the labels or the marketing. And I was just reading about someone that says that they didn't really, they thought the Mandela effect was interesting and funny, and then they said this one really screwed with their head quite a bit because he's like, my grandfather worked for the company. Down the street, I went to his work. I knew the other employees. He's like, I remember seeing the billboard, this sign of Fruit of the Loom, and he just goes through this whole thing, and I was just basically saying like, I'm beyond certain it's ingrained in my head that there's a cornucopia there behind the fruit. Yet there never has been in this reality, but there is quite a bit of residual things that point to it. People find like news articles talking about what the cornucopia means and then make an example and say Fruit of the Loom, or all of these different kind of old 80s articles, 80s and 90s articles. But as far as any other information or people that go and find their clothes from childhood, whatever, it's not there. It's not there. What's up, Divine? That's crazy talk. Crazy talk. There's a bunch of other ones that are somewhat mind-blowing for me. Even the Berenstain Bears. That's not so mind-blowing. You're a kid. You would just expect it, and as you grow up, Stein. It's a Jewish name. You think it's Stein, and perhaps no one remembers. It was written in cursive. Nobody remembers how it was written. It's kind of faulty. That one is, even though that's the major one for people, that one's, I think, a mind trick. This one, no. No. The Shazam one, no. This one's more, the movies ones, like, life was like a box of chocolates, and he said no. That's what actually he said, but everybody recalls life is like a box of chocolates. That's not what he says apparently. Luke, I am your father is not what he says. The Kevin Costner, he does not say if you build it, they will come. He doesn't say that. He says if you build it, he will come. These ones, those ones are pretty significant. Pretty significant. It's a couple songs that are pretty significant. But the Fruit of the Loom one, come on. This is I'm kind of tripped out on this one, and in a good way, because I do like the idea. It's not tripping me out like the way when I first kind of learned about the Mandela effect and timelines and residual things and realities, because I've always kind of believed in that, so it never affected me too much. But this is kind of strange. Because when I look at it, even when I looked at it just recently, the Fruit of the Loom, this is something I didn't even know was a Mandela effect. But I looked at it and it didn't have the fruit, it didn't have the thing behind it, and it was before I even knew that it was a Mandela effect. And I was like, did they change the logo? That was my first thought. I was like, oh, that looks like a new logo. That's, they upgraded it, they did something to it, but apparently not. It's kind of tweaking on this one. It's kind of tripping me out. Anybody else? Anybody else see that? Does anybody else remember the cornucopia? It's why I know the word. Why would you ever even think that word? Because of Thanksgiving or something? But the connection to the Fruit of the Loom was on the clothes. I mean, it's just, it's So I guess we're in the reality that that wasn't there. Or is there some grand what do you call it? Gaslighting going on? I mean, how would you do that? How would you scrub reality of all of the? I mean, if it's on like digital format, you can get rid of it easy. Digital format, you just replace it, put a new internet there, a new site, you can erase it. But when it comes to like a whole entire generation's clothing, you couldn't just get rid of that. Devon, you remember it with that. Do you have any clothes at your place right now? I have that? Because I was doing a bunch of research on Reddit and the internet and across the board. Nobody has any. Nobody has any. No one's seen any. What's up, Aaron? What are you doing? Why are you? I don't know. People ask me this all the time. I get. Some people can, some people can't. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't get. If you comment even after the show, sometimes it won't show up in my YouTube log of who's who said anything. I don't get notified. Sometimes in here, it's just. I don't know. Yeah, Divine, when you go and look and there is no, and if it's not there, that's gonna be pretty trippy. And if it is there, you have to take a picture and send it to me so we can quash this. But yeah, Aaron, do you know what I'm talking about? This Mandela effect? I don't know. I just heard about it this year. I didn't. I kind of put it on the shelf, the Mandela effect and everything to do with it for the past 2 years. I really haven't looked into it. And then when that popped up, I was like, come on, no. Maybe that was a Mandela effect. Okay, so the GIF and the Jiffy. Hmm. There's a couple. See, GIF, I can accept that, but I think that's one of the because there's other things that it like the Monopoly man with the monocle. That's one that's kind of interesting because I kind of do, but then again, Mr. Peanut had a monocle, and maybe there's something you think of old people that are rich that have a monocle, and there was other movies, and we kind of put that and two together. I do remember the Monopoly guy, but that's not. I can't. I wouldn't put that as a standout thing. The GIF and the Jiffy. There was other products that had like a similar thing. It was instead of like Jiffy, it was like Sniffy. It was like instead of Sniff, it was Sniffies. It was like products like that, and then maybe that's what we did in our mind. I mean, it's I can't recall either. I feel like it was Jiffy too, but I'm not that sure. Could be something that your parents say instead of just saying, "Hey, you want some Jif peanut butter? You want some Jiffy?" Yeah, you have your parents always little cutesy names for things. I am not that guy, Divine. I wonder who it was. I wonder who it was then, Divine. Because I do remember you were gonna send somebody a deck a while ago. It was Jiffy. Yeah, but hey, so Aaron, no, it's not. It's Jif. It's Jif. There's no. I don't know. That's another one that is. I remember looking into a couple of years back, and that people weren't even finding. They were not finding that much residual, meaning not an actual product. They can't find the product, and they find no information on the internet, and they're not finding like, articles or other things that were referring to it. But yeah, there's here's the big one. Ed McMahon. Who did Ed McMahon? Remember he was with those Publishers Clearinghouse, right? And he used to go and do what? What did he do? He used to go to people's houses. They showed you on TV. Go to people's houses, giving away checks for all this money and whatever. Remember? Everybody remembers this. Yet he says specifically that didn't happen, and that he didn't work for Publishers Clearinghouse, but a sister corporation. That he didn't work for, and you look it up now, and there is no evidence of him working for a Publishers Clearinghouse. But there is residual where there is a time where he spoke of it in the past, that he worked for Publishers Clearinghouse, and that there was some sort of thing where there's maybe a Saturday Night Live or something was making fun of it. They were doing a riff on it, which is like, why would they have made the joke if that didn't exist? Yet we can find no qualifiers really directly that he was ever working for Publishers Clearinghouse giving away checks. That was a crazy one to me. Yeah, the Jiffy. I don't know. I remember that, and there was another product that had a similar thing, but the spelling was funky like that too, and I think that's what, and people kind of hybridize that in their mind. But a lot of people are like, no, it certainly was Jiffy. Can't find it. Mandela effect is weird, man. But this one is tripping me out with the Fruit of the Loom. It's like losing your keys on steroids. I don't know. It's even stranger than that. To have like, did we all lucid dream that at the same time? It was just one dream that we all were having, and then one time in our life, and then we woke up and we're in this reality, and it was just a dream, but we all simultaneously had that same dream of that. Maybe there were some triggers later in life, and when we were earlier in life and going to kindergarten, maybe they put a bunch of Manchurian candidate stuff in our brains during preschool and kindergarten that we don't know about? I don't know. Well, I just wanted to get that one out of the way because that's bugging me. I didn't really have anything much more to talk about right now because I'm gonna go get lunch. I just needed to get that off of my brain and see if anybody else was having that same. And if you can find any, go in your closet, get any old clothes, and ask your parents. Ask your parents, and they'll be like, all right, go check. Because your dad still got T-shirts from 30 years ago. But go look at the tag, and it's this is weird. Fruit of Looms, crazy dude. All right, I'll check you guys later. I have a couple ideas for an actual show. So I'll probably be back on in a couple hours. We'll see. I got a couple things to do. I gotta do a little research into some epigenetics and DNA sequencing for someone. So maybe I'll do a show on that. It's good to see you guys, but I gotta dip. Talk to you soon. Bye.